For the last 3 weeks, I've talked about theory. AI as labor, agentic workspaces, role-based agents. Today, it's a bit different. Today, it's about proof. Not proof that something can sound human, but proof that a defined operational role can be executed properly. And together, we're going to listen to a full inbound maintenance call handled by our property management maintenance agent. Not selected clips, the entire call, warts and all. And I'll pause the call at specific moments to explain what matters operationally. Now, before we press play, I want to define the role properly, because most people underestimate this position. When someone hears maintenance helpline, they think, answer the phone, take a message, send someone out. That's not the full job. See, in a property management company, the inbound maintenance coordinators, they own safety triage. They own urgency classification. They own structured information gathering and approved troubleshooting. They own documentation and continuity. This role controls risk a lot of the time. If a tenant smells gas, that's safety of life. If water is pouring through the ceiling, that's asset protection. If there's no heat in the winter, that's habitability and potential legal exposure. The first 30 seconds of that call matter a lot. Second, this role owns urgency classification. Emergency, urgent, routine. Misclassify something and you either waste money or you create risk. Third, this role owns structured information gathering. The maintenance teams, they need when did it start? What symptoms exist? What has already been tried? Are there going to be pets present? Is someone going to be at home? Miss one detail and you could delay resolution. Fourth, this role kind of owns tone. Tenants call when something is wrong. The coordinator has to be able to reassure while still controlling the call. Fifth, this role owns troubleshooting within boundaries. Attempt safe, approved steps. Do not overstep. Sixth, this role owns documentation and continuity. Everything gathered must be logged properly. And if the tenant calls back, the coordinator should not behave like it's a brand new issue. They should own the case. Now, traditionally, companies build this through hiring. You recruit people, you train them, you monitor them. You retrain them whenever turnover happens. This role is fragile. People skip safety questions. They misclassify urgency. They forget details and they vary in tone. That's not a criticism of people. It's just the reality of executing, relying entirely on people. So when we evaluate this agent, that's the bar we're setting. Not does it sound good. The question is, does it execute the role correctly? Now, let's listen to the call together.
Thanks for calling the Wolf Nest Maintenance Helpline. How can I help you?
We're having problems with our heating. Doesn't seem to be turning on today.
Okay, I hear you. Heating not working. That's definitely something we want to get sorted quickly, especially this time of year. Before we go further, I do need to let you know that this call is being recorded for quality control and compliance purposes. Also, just so you know, our company uses AI tools to help run and record some of our calls. Let me ask you a quick question. Does anything smell unusual in your home right now? Like a burning smell or anything like that?
Right. This is all about a safety triage. Before diagnosing anything else, what we see here is the agent checking for a potentially dangerous condition. That's trained behavior embedded right into this role. Let's continue.
No, nothing like that.
Got it. Thanks. That's good to hear. So I can get this in the system and get the right team out to help you. What's your name?
My name is Ruby.
Thanks, Ruby. Let me look you up in our system real quick. Perfect. Ruby, I've got you in the system here at 294 Riverside Arden Surprise. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Right, I want to pause here for a second. This is data verification against the tenant list, right? So I want to call something out here. This is kind of one of those wart situations. You'll notice the address pronunciation wasn't perfect. That's actually something we identified in our testing as we were doing these calls. As you can tell, that's me calling. Addresses can be tricky. Numbers, abbreviations, street types. And since then, we've now trained our agents specifically on how to pronounce addresses correctly based on standardized formatting, USPS formatting, and location. So it's a great example of a part of the call that wasn't perfect. The role was perfect, the data was correct, but that little bit of polishing on the agent, it matters, and we tightened it. Let's resume our call.
Perfect. Okay, so your heating isn't turning on at all today. When did you first notice it wasn't working?
This morning, when we got up, it wasn't working, and then I've been kind of trying it and trying to figure out what's going on for the rest of the day, and I just realized I better call you guys.
All right, that makes sense. So it's been out since this morning. Got it. Just to clarify, when you say it's not turning on, do you hear anything when you try to adjust the thermostat? Like,
Okay, I want to pause there in mid conversation. Notice how structured this is. It narrows down, this conversation is narrowing down. The agent, he's narrowing down the issue logically. Is there sound or is there no sound? The thermostat status confirmed. That's exactly how we would train a person, a live person, to act as a coordinator. Let's continue.
do you hear the system trying to kick in at all, or is it completely silent?
I don't hear anything, actually. That's a great point.
Okay, so completely silent. That's helpful info. Let me ask you this. Have you checked your thermostat to see if it's set to heat and the temperature is set higher than what it is right now in your home?
Yeah, I've checked all that.
Good. You're on top of it. All right, Ruby, no heat since this morning. Thermostat is set correctly, and there's no sound at all from the system. This is definitely a level 2 urgent issue, which means we need to get someone out within 3 days to take a look at it.
Okay, I want to pause. This is a judgment moment for the agent. So there's no heat. The system's silent. The thermostat's technically, he believes, set correctly. And they have to now classify. The agent has to classify this issue based on this particular company's rules. And he's done the correct classification, level 2 urgent. Now, another little detail here. You'll notice the agent tells the tenant the urgency level and the time frame. That's actually something we can configure, right? Some companies want that full transparency and disclose tiers and timelines, and others prefer not to expose those internal classifications. This agent is configured for the transparency. That's not random. He's configured that way. That's aligned to this company's policy. Now, let's resume.
Before I get all your details locked in, let me quickly check our troubleshooting manual to see if there's one safe step we can walk through together. Give me just a second. All right. Let me walk you through a couple of quick checks. First one, have you looked at the filter on your heating unit? Sometimes if the filter gets clogged, the system won't kick on. Do you know where that is?
Yeah, I know where it is.
Okay, great. Can you go take a look at it for me and let me know if it looks dirty or clogged?
Sure. Give me 10 seconds and I'll be right back.
Perfect. Take your time.
No, it looks fine. I just checked it.
Okay, good. That's not it then. Let me try one more thing. On your system, there's usually a reset switch on the furnace itself, or near it. It might be on the unit or on a wall panel nearby. Have you seen anything like that? A switch you could turn off and back on?
Yeah, I know where it is, and I did try it earlier, and nothing. It didn't do anything.
All right. Okay, so you've already given that a shot. Good. Sounds like we've ruled out the quick fixes here. Since the system isn't responding to any of those steps, this is definitely something our maintenance team needs to come out and diagnose in person. This is classified as a level 2 urgent issue, which means we're targeting to get someone out to you within 3 days. Now,
We're going to pause there. Notice those troubleshooting moments. There were defined steps he went through. And to do that, he had to access the manuals that he's been provided. Just like a human agent would, he accessed it immediately with no lag and no pause, and was able to run through the approved steps only. He did not overstep into diagnosing wider issues. He knew when to stop and when to escalate. You may also notice the agent repeats slightly more than a normal person might, and that's something that we actually can play with at the agent level to see how much reinforcement you want your agents to do on a call. Early on, I favored more reinforcement to ensure that nothing was missed. Over time, I go back and forth. It depends on the company, and it's something that we can dial in as we train each agent. Execution first, then polish. Right, let's continue.
Now, let me gather just a couple more details so we can get this scheduled and make sure the team has everything they need. What's the best number to reach you at if they need to follow up? Perfect. Let me confirm that back to you. 9. Is that right?
That's correct.
Great. And just to confirm, do you have any pets in the home or anything our maintenance team should know about when they come out?
No pets, no.
Okay, perfect. And will there be someone home to let them in, or do you have special access instructions for the property?
Yeah, I can be home. They just need to let me know.
Perfect. All right, Ruby. So here's where we're at. You've got no heat, the system's completely silent, and we've ruled out the obvious checks. This is a level 2 urgent repair, so our maintenance team will be reaching out to schedule a visit within the next 3 days. They'll give you a call to confirm a time that works for you. In the meantime, if your heat suddenly comes back on, that's great. Just let them know when they call. But if things get worse or you start to smell anything unusual, just give us a call back right away. The best number to reach you is the 918 number you gave me. Does that all sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great. Thanks.
You're welcome, Ruby. I'm going to get all this information over to our maintenance team partner right now, and they'll be in touch with you soon. Thanks for calling, and stay warm out there.
Okay, so that was the full call, no edits. Now, that was the first call. I had a problem. I called up. The agent was able to identify everything. Nothing flashy, just very structured role execution. But here's where it gets really interesting and where some more validation really happens. Because Ruby, me, calls back later. Now let's listen to that second call as well, because it's going to give you a real sense of why smart agents can really fulfill executive roles in your business.
Thanks for calling the Wolf Nest Maintenance Helpline. How can I help you?
Oh, yeah. Hi, I called just a minute ago, and I wanted to let you guys know that my heating just came back on. I think I figured out where the setting was wrong.
Oh, that's fantastic, Ruby. I'm so glad to hear it came back on. That's great news. So it sounds like you found the thermostat setting that was causing the issue. Is that right?
Yeah, I just honestly, I think one of my kids screwed around with it. I'm sorry for bothering you guys.
Hey, no bother at all. That happens all the time, honestly. Kids and thermostats, right? I'm just really glad you got it sorted and that heat is back on now. Since we did classify this as a level 2 repair earlier, the maintenance team will still likely reach out within the next 3 days just to confirm everything's running smoothly.
Wait, I want to pause there. Kids and furnaces, right? So this is a really important moment because the agent, he remembered. He remembered the issue, the urgency level, the workflow state. This is governed memory. This is not session-based AI. This is role ownership across time and multiple calls. You'll notice he references the prior classification clearly. We've also kind of tuned how that phrasing is delivered to feel even more conversational now. But the key, it's not about the wording, it's the continuity. Right, let's finish this call because it's only a few seconds left.
But if your heating stays on and working fine, you can just let them know when they call that it's all set. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that's great, man.
Perfect. Well, I'm really glad we could help, Ruby, and I'm even more glad your heat is working again. Stay warm out there, and thanks for calling back to let us know. Take care. Thanks for calling in.
How great is that? Stay warm out there. What you just heard wasn't the chatbot responding twice. It was a defined role being executed across time and multiple calls with safety protocols, classification logic, troubleshooting boundaries, structured documentation, continuity. Now, let me show you what happened after that first call ended. And to do this, I'm going to share something on my screen. Here is a text message summary that was automatically generated by the agent. You can see here it says, Level 2, heating not working since morning, tried troubleshooting, but system remains completely silent. Tenant name, callback number, I'm bleeping that out. Property address, I'm gonna bleep most of that out. Issue category, heating system, issue description. Heating is not turning on, system is completely silent with no response when attempting to adjust the thermostat. So, that's not just a transcript of the call. That is a structured operational output of that call. The priority was labeled properly. The issue was summarized correctly. Contact was verified, address confirmed, and the category structured. This is exactly what we train a person in the maintenance coordinator role to produce after every call. But it doesn't stop there. The agent can immediately take the next steps. He can send this text to alert their maintenance lead or a contractor, notify a specific property manager, escalate based on urgency thresholds. And behind the scenes, here's also what they can send. This webhook can be sent automatically. That webhook can push the same structured data, giving all access to all information into a property management system, ticketing platform, CRM, Slack, whatever. The moment the call ends, the data is logged, the workflow is moving. The right people can be notified, no retyping, no delay, no missed steps. That is the difference between answering a call and owning a role. Now, let's step back for a minute. What you just watched wasn't a demo. It was a real call. It was a role being executed in real time by an AI agent. The safety triage done properly, urgency classification, structured troubleshooting, documentation of the issues, continuity, real-time logging, workflow movement. Not once, not in one isolated call, but across time and multiple calls. And here's the real question. Where in your business are you still building this through hiring more people alone? Where do you have roles that are procedural, structured, policy-driven, repeated hundreds of times per month? Maybe it's inbound seller qualification, maintenance intake, follow-up coordination, after-hours response, initial screening, roles where the standard is clear, the process is defined, and the cost of inconsistency is very, very real. Now, for years, the only way to make those roles consistent was to hire, to recruit, to train, monitor, retrain, replace. But now you can design the role once, train it properly, govern the role, embed it into your infrastructure, and let a trained agent execute every single time. Available 24/7, without any skipped steps, without memory lapses, without variations in classification. This is about stabilizing execution. It's about moving fragile work into something that is predictable. So don't ask yourself, do I need AI? Ask yourself, which roles in my business are fragile? Which ones depend too heavily on an individual's performance? Which ones follow a defined policy and repeat consistently and constantly? Those are your first candidates, because once you see those roles executed properly, like this, time and time again, 24/7, 365 days a year, it becomes very hard to ignore the inefficiencies of the old model. That's the shift. And if you're watching this, if you're still watching this, and you're starting to mentally scan your business, that's the right instinct. Every operator has a few roles that are procedural, repeatable, and usually fragile. Now, if you want to walk through what this looks like for your business, reach out to me. I'm happy to think it through with you. No pitch, just you and me, operator to operator.